incoming.
Hello, everyone. And
Hello.
welcome. It's good to see all Guardians. My name's Andy. I work here at
It's
Bungie
good
on
to
the
see
social
you
media
too,
team,
dude.
And we're coming to you live here from beautiful Bungie HQ in Bellevue, Washington, with an awesome stream to go ahead and tell you a little bit about what's to come with Act 2 of episode Revenant.
Ils vont nous parler de ce qui va arriver la semaine prochaine.
You're not just have to sit here and listen to me tell you all about it. We have some fine folks here from the Bungie development team to give you some of the finer points about what we're going to be looking at today. So, without further ado, I vote we go ahead and just dive on into the stream and get this moving along, because there's some cool stuff to show you, starting with a man that you may know very well. It's very interesting, which I will say, very conveniently, excellent segue, thank you, leads us to our first batch of gameplay.
Exactly.
For, again, the Destiny vets out there, the Destiny 1 players who may be still with us as well, myself included. We are returning to an activity that's been reprised from the Destiny 1 days.
Absolutely.
Noah, can you tell us what we're getting into here?
You know, you said returning. I'd like to say this activity was reimagined.
Yeah.
Instead of it being the Prison of Elders from Destiny 1, this is now a Tomb of Elders. This activity specifically is Contest of Elders, actually. Now, I'm going to want the fire team to hold up a little bit, because I want to describe it a little bit for the audience.
Excellent.
So if those who are familiar with things like Deep Dives or The Coil and Riven's Lair from Season 23, this is a similar kind of activity where it's a longer tail, more roguelite activity. One of our design tenets was we wanted to make it as variable as possible. And we'll go into a lot of what makes it as variable as it is.
Il y a un éclaireur aussi. Il y a un éclaireur aussi qui sortira à saison pro. Semaine pro.
Which is, you know, you go to arenas, complete encounters, and all this while the spooky, scary warden is kind of in your ear, kind of egging you on.
Yeah.
Instead of it being Varix, it's the warden servitor.
Yeah.
And players are trying to
En fait, ils nous ressortent la prison des vétérans, mais un peu mis à jour là.
That he says, you'll actually get more loot, and we'll go into that a little bit more in the future.
Excellent. A lot of chances to test out your Varix impressions, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, we'll hear a little.
Oh yeah, give it time. We'll get there, absolutely.
Le retour de la prison des vétérans, les gars. Mais
with this, was it basically just bringing back kind of the activity from Destiny 1, same races, same bosses, and everything, or what are you guys trying to do?
We wanted to. I think the key that I was really excited about was I had a rule which was, we want to keep the best parts of Prison of Elders that people love, the most iconic aspects. So, you know, things like dismantle mines. We might have some fan favorite taken bosses and other bosses
franchement, flemme un peu de déminer des mines.
The main thing was being able to modernize it to not only the new.
Ah les gars, la qualité du gameplay, je peux rien y faire. C'est chez eux, je sais pas ce que c'est. C'est peut-être à cause du live, mais.
And hunt more vampires. And like you said about factions, in the old Prison of Elders, it was the Fallen, the Cabal, the Hive, the Vex.
Okay.
We don't have the Vex anymore. Instead it's the Dread now, being led by some Taken forces.
Very cool.
Instead of the regular Cabal, we have the Shadow Legion. Instead of normal Hive, we have the Lucent Hive, and we have the Revenant Scorn instead of the Fallen. So we kind of changed up all the races, and you'll be able to see it. It's really apparent when you go to their arenas, since they're all themed based on the races.
Yeah. So I'm going to bug you about bosses soon, but can you tell us just a little bit about what we're seeing here, whether it's the modifiers or anything like that? I noticed there's obviously a lot of chances to test your skill here against the modifiers you guys have put in.
Oh, yeah. So we, for those who are familiar with the Legacy Prison of Elders, there were a bunch of modifiers that were on a rotation. Some were kind of beneficial, like Solar Burn, where it was like the enemies give you damage, but you can kind of deal some. In this, all of them are not beneficial to you. And actually, as a quick segue, we saw Urrox there. He was an old Destiny 1 Prison of Elders boss, a legacy boss.
Yeah.
And he's come back as a Lucent Hive Guardian, and we had some other few bosses who have come back.
La qualité, elle est un peu dégueulasse là.
I mean, given that he's no longer just a Hive Knight, he's got both the big shields and everything. He's ready to go ahead and be brought back with the power of the light.
That's just
some new challenges.
We have some UI too that we were able to bring back from the Legacy Prison of Elders. Every time you get a new modifier, it appears on the screen in the middle of the screen, and you're able to be like, oh, it's Chill Touch or it's Counterfeit. Because we have some of the new modifiers that were in episode Revenant that are in here. We got Counterfeit. We got Haste. We got Brawn, if people have had experience with that, and a few other things like Chill Touch, Scrapper, Grounded, a few other things.
On va les descendre ensemble.
Opportunities to run around, grab your ammo, and then turn out it's a bomb. Oops.
I love that one. That's one of my favorite perks, actually.
That never happens to me all the time.
Being hit by a melee attack slows you. Ok, donc là, tu prends une mêlée, t'es ralenti.
I want to shout out our engineering team for being able to bring this in, and our UI team for, you know, kind of everyone came together and had a strike force so that we could bring this back. It was no small feat, but I'm glad it works, you know, as we intended it to.
No, we appreciate it. As someone who intends to spend a ridiculous amount of time in here, thank you, and yours for your hard work.
Absolutely. So I kind of wanted to talk about one more thing in terms of how this activity is structured. I'd say it's very close to Riven's Lair. For those who remembered, Riven's Lair, you kind of had a trap room, then an encounter, then another trap room, then a boss. In this, it's slightly more action focused. So we have, as we saw, that cryopod encounter first. Then you'll have a faction encounter. It'll take you to a random arena throughout the prison. It's still shaped like the spokes, like in the original Prison of Elders. Then you'll have a short traversal section, and then you'll have a boss. And then after that, you will get pulled into the warden's office and get your loot, and then you'll run around the loop again. In every single encounter, you're gonna have a challenge, and for bosses specifically, you're gonna have a critical objective. And that kind of all goes into like this in-activity reputation system that's called the Warden's Judgment. When you read the rules, for all my players who like to read, you can see what that is, but I know people don't read, so I'm gonna try to explain it the best I can.
Why were you staring right at me when you said that? That's so weird.
I don't read either.
Okay.
I mean,
All right,
I literally will look at it and I'll be like,
I'll figure.
Launch.
Yeah.
So the Warden's Judgment is a pretty simple.
Vous êtes hypé ou pas par le retour Mais après, c'est la prison des vétérans, mais revisité, parce que ça sera pas comme sur D1 vraiment. Et en fait, on va pouvoir recommencer. En fait, c'est un peu comme l'activité qu'on avait eue là. Au DLC avant to Final Shape, là où tu pouvais refaire plusieurs tours là, et ça devenait de plus en plus dur. En fait, ça va être la même là.
The threshold they need to get to the wish chamber, but it just missing out things felt bad, and it initially kind of.
L'activité là, oui, Evil took the Riven.
Get to the very end and see if I can get to it.
Right. Yeah.
So to address that, the Warden's Judgment is kind of like a inactivity way to check how well you're doing. There will be a buff on the top of your screen, then it'll kind of dictate how well you're doing. So when you complete a challenge or a bonus objective, your Warden's Judgment will increase. It can get all the way up to favor times 1 to 3. If you do not complete the objective within the time limit, you will go down a level. And if you're in Warden's Punishment, the activity gets a little bit easier. We have less elites, less mini bosses, and our high value targets that are called model prisoners will be elites, and they give you a revive token on death.
Okay.
But the better you do, we have more things that are going to try to hamper you. We'll have traps in the arena.
Ah, c'était la spire, voilà, c'était la spire que ça s'appelait là. J'ai cherché le nom depuis tout à l'heure dans ma tête, la spire.
The ultimate test, because you want to stay at that the whole time for max rewards. Your bonus objective time limits will be reduced by around 30%.
Okay.
So some things may take, maybe you have 2.5 minutes to complete something, and then it becomes 2 minutes. Or you have a minute and 30 seconds, and maybe it becomes just a minute. It gets a little bit tougher. Exactly. But that's kind of the core about this activity.
Après, pour dropper les armes, ça sera toujours avec le délire des popos là.
40, 50, maybe 60-minute activities.
Ça va être avec les popos. Et là, les récompenses, je pense que ça va être la même chose qu'avec la spire où tu pouvais avoir des trucs sympas. T'avais des éclats ascendants, t'avais des alliages ascendants. Mais
maybe you'll get bad luck and have some bad encounters. But the more you run it, you'll get more experience. You'll understand kind of how the flow is, and you'll be able to get a lot of rewards really fast and kind of experience the whole Prison of Elders in this new light.
Yeah,
really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
build into it a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, on one hand, to the community, what was that again? 28 minutes, you said?
28.
All right. When it comes out next week, the issue.
They'll blow past that. They'll blow past.
No, I'm sure, but still, it's best to issue a challenge.
Wait for the solo run.
Ça leur a mis 28 minutes pour le finir. Bah, c'est comme la spire en fait. Après.
I will give you a title that I bestowed of very few people. You will be that guy. And I will at you on Twitter or something.
Not in game.
Not in game.
Yeah, this is just like a imaginary title.
Yeah, I made that up just now.
He'll say it on Twitter. Blazing Muffins will give you a shout out on Twitter. But no, so it's kind of nice to have the opportunity to sort of, I guess, if you're learning the activities, if you're kind of just, getting beaten down a little bit, you have a chance to build yourself up a bit, kind of get a sense of the
nouvelle activité.
So that way, as you kind of build yourself up that higher
nouvelle, en guillemets.
They are actually showing one of my favorite features, which we tried to give every boss a cool intro. So this boss descends in from a from the ceiling. So,
et ils nous ont mis un vaisseau en boss. Incroyable.
Every enemy race has their own kind of mechanic. So the Hive.
Ils ont mis un vaisseau comme boss. Ils ont mis un vaisseau Cabal.
The Cabal are all about getting these explosive charges and blowing up things that are like immune. We'll see the dreads in a second, but the scorns are about getting these explosive canisters.
Après, il a pas beaucoup de vie le vaisseau. Regardez. Mais en fait, pour le DPS, il faut lancer les boules. Ou on peut lui tirer dessus directement. Je sais pas parce qu'ils lancent les boules dessus. Ou les boules doivent faire beaucoup plus de dégâts que les tirs classiques. Je sais pas, mais.
That's
no, I have to ask, why did it have to be a thresher? Because I'm having some memories from Neomuna. This is scaring me already.
Bah en vrai, c'est cool. Ça change. En vrai. Bon, ce qui est dommage, c'est qu'ils ont pris le vaisseau cabal de base, quoi. Ils l'ont mis là, quoi. Ils auraient pu en créer un. Attends, et du coup, il y a un option K-pop maintenant. Bon, mais c'est Kargen, c'est le dentifrice là de l'assaut là. Ah non, attends, non, c'est pas lui. Si, c'est lui ou c'est celui de D1? On pouvait dropper la cape là. À tout moment, on peut dropper sa cape. Je sais pas si vous vous rappelez les gars sur D1.
Players are probably very much like, why is the screen green?
Fair.
So critical objectives have been massively increased in like complexity, I believe.
Yeah.
So every time a boss starts, there's just a timer ticking down that we're not showing you, and then a critical objective will spawn. If you complete them or fail them, you know, your warden's judgment will react accordingly. But what we ask you to do for these critical objectives are much more dangerous than like our normal stuff, which is like maybe get kills with abilities, get kills with the Scorch Cannon. This one is a certain level and below, all of it will be poison gas that does damage to you over time.
Yeah.
And the only way to turn it off is you have to turn off the switches that are also in the poison gas. So the warden servitor will be like, warning, poison gas, or whatever. And when you come in, and it's like, oh,
you've done that before. All right.
Yes,
that's
all the time.
Yeah.
I've been at home just like by myself, just doing a Varix impression, like to like nothing, and I'm like,
that's how I'm going to talk to my cat exclusively. Exactly. Now I can just
yeah, donc ça nous ramène à.
It's okay. He has to exist around me anyway.
Ouais, c'est ça, c'est l'aspire, c'est l'aspire.
Yeah. Subtitles. That's all I got in my brain.
Chittering, chattering. I don't know. It's.
And we see the warden's office. So that's what I call. That's not what it's called. But that's what I like to call it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time you complete a boss, you will get pulled to this chamber where the warden will reward you based on how well you've done. This fire team has done very well. So they get 3 chests, and you get a rally banner that allows you to like kind of, you know, refresh.
Ah, ils nous ont pas montré le loot. Hein. Ah, ils ramassent pas les engrammes. J'ai vu une matrice, mais c'est tout ce que j'ai vu.
While he's judging you in this like kind of Monopoly style like mini game. A punishment will happen. I don't want to spoil what that is, but I think it'll be very.
Et là, du coup, ça recommence, mais un peu plus dur, du coup.
They were able to skip the cryopod encounter if you were like at a neutral or below.
Ah, c'est l'aspire, les gars, c'est l'aspire, mais version prison des vétérans. Ah, là, on se retrouve par contre. On se retrouve dans le vaisseau de Savatoun, là.
Yeah. All right, really quickly, also, please feel free to keep jumping back in. I know there's a lot of stuff we're going to be checking out, but Taylor, I want to quickly bug you. With the arrival of Act 2, we're going to have a couple of new weapons, a few new weapons being added.
Ah, il parle des nouvelles armes qui vont arriver avec l'Acte 2.
Can you tell us a little bit about kind of the new
Bah déjà, on a la PM, là, qu'on voit depuis tout à l'heure.
Yeah, sure. So we have like 2 new seasonal weapons or act weapons.
Got the SMG and the shotgun.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
There's an arc precision SMG, and then there's a
attrition orbs, right?
Yeah, attrition orb. Yeah, it's got a bunch of perk rolls on it, which we'll get to in a second. And then a void precision shotgun, which has some.
Un pompe de précision. Ok, il ne sort pas maintenant avec l'erreur, ça sera l'acte 3. Ok. Donc on a un pompe abyssal et une PM créo là.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of cool rolls for both of these, both for PvE and PvP.
Yeah, let's take a quick look.
So this one's got the new arc perk, jolting feedback.
Orbe d'attrition, je reconnais ça.
Also got loose change, attrition orbs, and a few other things that really synergize pretty well. You can get like the jolt on and then loose change procs.
Yeah.
And it just loops into itself.
Oh, il a le skin Dokki par contre, le mec.
Bunch of rolls both for PvE and PvP. You can get slide shot,
pompe de précision là.
You can get
il a le skin Dokki. C'est quand que ça arrive ça? Moi je veux cette collab, je vais tout acheter.
Having dusted off my 7th Seraph TQC, I want to say thank you for those changes, honestly. Yeah, never gets old.
It's nice how such a small change can actually make a pretty big difference.
Yeah,
especially when it's not even more damage.
Yeah, also with
il s'est fait éteindre.
The new shotgun, you know, obviously PvP or PvE rather is going to get some nice buffs. You were saying the repulsor brace, both hell rounds.
Yeah,
no, I mixed up those. But at any rate, there was a PvP role you were talking about earlier as well. Like it's going to have a lot of versatility in the same.
Oh yeah, it's got a lot of roles and it's precision frames, so I know it's like.
Parle de pompe, donc apparemment il y a un rôle PvP, mais de toute façon ça c'était sûr.
So in addition to these 2 new ACT weapons getting added to the pool, there's also one of the reprised ones as well that I'm personally pretty excited about from Season of the Splicer coming back, Grid Skipper.
Yes.
Grid
Like,
skipper?
Yeah, so go ahead.
Yeah, I have a very personal connection to this gun, so it was like one of my favorite things. I actually worked on helped work on the original set of these when they first came out. But I did the rolls on these.
Let's take a quick
It's
look.
got some classics from the past.
Donc c'est Pulse aussi qui revient avec des nouvelles perks. J'ai plus son nom en français, par contre je suis désolé.
Get some Zen Omen Headseeker PvP, probably pretty nice.
That's what I'm going to be going for.
My original classic roll was Killing Wind Multi-Kill Clip, which with the new Splice Origin will work pretty well.
Yeah.
I'm a compulsive reloader myself, so manning the
Le Pulse il était bon à l'époque, mais maintenant il risque d'être encore meilleur.
Pretty much like negates the major downside of rapid fire.
Enfin, déjà, je crois qu'il l'avait avec chasseur de tête. Après...
That was the role you talked about in the TWID, right?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Of all the people, you chose the legendary weapon instead.
Yeah. So
for
with the
context,
past, talking about if you could have one weapon made a replica, what would you want? A bunch of other people said exotic, and I was the guy that said Grid Skipper.
I mean, it's a great answer.
Correct choice.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. There's no wrong choice in theirs, but yours was very correct. Let's be very clear.
A couple new PvE rolls as well. But, there's a lot to look forward to. I'm going to be playing this a lot.
Des rôles PvP aussi pour le Pulse.
Because we're at a good time.
Yeah.
So this is...
On testera ça, hein.
The fire team went through it earlier, but this is the traversal section. So these are different than how they were in the coil. I also want to shout out every player who died to my spike traps in the coil. I did that on purpose.
How dare you?
I don't feel bad.
Ok.
There's a lot of grudges being built in chat.
Des STG volantes.
Yeah, I don't feel bad.
You're like an evil DM, honestly.
Imagine la supériorité.
It's not fun to them, it's fun to
burning
be.
at like 2 a.m. and it's
Ça m'étonnerait même pas, mais...
Noah, why did you do that?
Exactly. I see all the comments and I'm like...
He just smiles. Yeah, he just feels better. Warms up his coffee. Yeah.
These are these are much shorter than they were in the coil, but their goal is in Contest of Elders specifically, not Tomb of Elders, which is like 1 lap.
Yeah.
These have their own challenges that players have to complete. So for this one, it was kill every enemy, defeat every enemy that's there. There are some that's like collect a bunch of like fallen lights. I can't remember what they're called. They're like energy
Des corrompus maintenant.
or like defeat a boss within a certain amount of time. So there's just more things to kind of challenge you and make these, transitionary spaces a little bit more interesting. And so we have like the piece de resistance.
Commencer le match.
Everyone will be very excited to see this. This is one of my favorite intros.
The grand reveal.
Exactly.
Yeah, let's see here. And you were saying the Dread and the Taken are working
C'est une prêtresse.
right?
I'd say the Taken are kind of taking the helm of the Dread right now, not because like they're strong or anything, but because like Psylocke is just more experienced with the prison. I feel like
honestly,
he's he was a model inmate.
Yeah.
So they were like we're asking from the best. All the warden likes him.
Yeah,
Pour l'instant, il ne parle que de la nouvelle activité.
For work after hours, he was hanging out in the library, reading up on the law, right?
Ils nous ont présenté vite fait là des
community service, all the works.
les armes aussi.
What's the mechanic we're seeing at play here as well, by the way?
So this mechanic is a
Vas-y, c'est quoi la mécanique?
So for everyone who loves Rift or really has even played Excision,
Moi, j'aime pas trop la faille.
It is Dark Runner, where you're picking up splinters. You're picking up darkness splinters that give you stacks of Dark Runner up to like ×3, where it'll say like Dark Runner max. And then you dunk them in a rift, and it changes based on like the encounter. For the normal Dread encounter, just something different. But in this, Psylocke will have a shield.
Different objective. It's happening right now too.
Oh yeah, we got the Rifleman is a critical objective, and the thing with that is there will be clones of the Rifleman that spawn around the arena.
Yeah.
You have to find the real one, but the clone's damage is real too.
Yeah.
So you got to make sure that you're not in their line of sight.
Yeah.
All these critical objectives are meant to be pretty tough.
Yeah, they're not supposed to go easy on you.
Yeah, I mean, they're critical.
It's not the sandbox, it's just a tomb, right? Yeah, thank you.
11 have dynamic.
Le défi supplémentaire là. Find and defeat the Rifleman. Il faut shooter le bon.
This is if I was to describe what design's goal was for this in one word, it would be variable. There's so much that can change from a given run. Is really trying to embody roguelite to like its fullest.
Il avait dit 28 minutes, je crois.
You'll go to different cell blocks in different orders.
Yeah.
You'll have different.
Si tu vas avec une squad de tryharders, il y a moyen d'aller encore plus vite.
And you'll have different modifiers and like all this stuff, and based on how well you do, the dynamic like enemies are harder or easier based on how well you do. Like it's really.
Là, je crois qu'ils ont fini.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot, and I hope players can like you know, I'm looking at Dado and Astacross, make a good guide for this because this is a big one. But I think that the more people play, they'll kind of understand the mode a lot more and.
Le mode est simple à comprendre, c'est une spire quoi. C'est une spire. Pendant les combats, t'as des petits défis supplémentaires.
And my goal was, even if you're at the worst level, if you're at Warden's Punishment ×3, you're able to get to the max rewards in one lap.
Yeah. Just might take you a little bit longer.
Yeah, you just have to be kind of dialed in.
Yeah.
It'll be the phrasing of like, oh, I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed.
Exactly.
You got to earn these rewards.
You got to say it in Eric's voice, though, too.
Oh, I'm not.
So we'll get back has so many lines. I want to shout out Olivia on narrative for writing all the lines.
Yeah.
He has, I think, like, I don't even know. I'm not going to, like, make a number up right now. But he has a bunch, and they range from being, I'm very proud of you, to, like... Come on, man, you got to do a little better than that.
Yeah,
it kind of pushes you to kind of just want to make him proud.
Yeah, he's not mad, he's just disappointed.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Dylan is the father here. He's used to saying that to me.
I don't use the slang like you do.
I mean, I got that Skibbity Ohio riz, unfortunately. But
what was that?
Moving right along. Actually, while we have a second here, Taylor, I wanted to go ahead back to you.
Yeah.
Actually, we've got some new Artéfact mods joining this time around as well. Do you mind
bien
if we
sûr.
take a look and kind of walk
On
through
aura des nouveaux modes Artéfact aussi, comme la saison dernière, une nouvelle ligne.
The last episode, sorry. We have a new row unlocking in Act 2. These are all
Qu'est-ce qu'on a? Donc, Armor Energy Cost, offer l'armor mod affecting your melee. Ok.
An improvement to emergency reinforcements, which I think is like you get a heal when you're low health.
Rapid Final Blow while surrounded grant you.
While you're surrounded.
Oh, ça c'est pas mal ça.
There gives you more weapon handling and charge rate for swords.
And the boost comes from tonics, right?
Yeah, so there'll be new tonics.
Nice.
Des nouvelles popos.
This, I think, is a variant of one of the older mods that is...
Target sheet or break the shield of a guardian using the super...
The boost on this, actually, is going to be really nice, which is picking up an overpower or elemental pickup or tangle. Gives you a bit of health, which kind of replicates the leg armor mods, which you can like run both, or you can... This can free you up a slot with that. I know, like,
oui, en PvE, ça peut être bien, PvP inutile, ça. Très occasionnel, et même ça servira à rien. Bah, je vais voir le dernier, là.
There's a lot of mods in this row that I'm really looking forward to having.
Tomb of Elders activities are very...
Arc Souls deal increase damage to blind targets.
Definitely going to be king here.
I can't wait.
What's the buzzword?
Donc les cibles aveuglées subissent des dégâts bonus cryo-électriques.
The density in Destiny is just getting there.
And then Arc Compounding, which I believe was maybe in an older artifact, which is Arc Sources deal more damage to blinded targets.
Je croyais qu'on allait avoir notre mêlée anti-barrière.
Really well with the changes that got done to Exteris, since the moths there will be blind to blind for yourself, and then also it's a grenade launcher, so it kind of gets to double dip with all the grenade launcher mods in this.
And to that end as well, quickly for anyone who may not read through every patch note necessarily, quick update, what were the changes you guys made to Exteris?
Yeah, we made some QL stuff, get a little bit more ammo, but the main thing was flattening out the projectile behavior a bit, so it goes a little bit higher velocity, less gravity, so you can more easily hit stuff from range.
C'est le skin Dokki qu'il avait là.
Also get a moth in the same way that you would on the kill trigger. So
les deux derniers sont pas nuls, hein.
Content a bit easier and
les deux derniers pour du PvE, ils sont
big
bien.
target to just lay into.
Yeah. All right, we're going to get back to some gameplay here in a second, but really quickly before we move on as well, we were talking before the show, there are some changes happening to roaming supers as well.
Yeah. So you may have seen earlier we had our Warlock here.
Ils en ont parlé ça dans la tweet.
But one of the things we're doing in this Act 2 patch is we're buffing all the roaming supers. So for context, that's like your Storm Trance, Vista Havoc,
les super où tu peux te déplacer avec, quoi. Ils vont se faire buff.
One-shot supers like Nova Bomb, Tether, etc. We're making a change so that the damage-based rechargers, specifically in PvE.
Right, yes, only in PvE, not PvE.
You'll be charging, through active combat, you'll be charging the roaming supers, but like 2 to 3 times faster.
Okay.
Ah ouais.
Yeah.
So it's like a pretty big swing with the kind of the idea that you want to move these a little bit closer to your neutral game.
Yeah.
Or something you feel more comfortable popping like on cooldown.
Yeah.
So you don't feel like you...
C'est parti les gars, je vais déluger des lames en PvP. En PvE, pardon.
Use it pretty actively because you can get it back ready.
Lames spectrales, je voulais dire, les lames spectrales.
Yeah, use the, I think the great analogy earlier, like it's not the hyper potion in your backpack you hold on to forever because you need it.
We want to try and break that habit. We understand it's a hard habit to kick.
As someone again who uses the super basically only in the final phase of any boss fight.
It's years and years of Destiny have trained me very well to do that too. So it was interesting seeing in playtests because took people a bit to kind of adapt to it, but once we
À tout moment, on voit DPS avec la transe de l'orage.
Back, it was like a lot of fun because it opens up a lot more things too. Because like now there's a bunch of exotics that are.
Je pense qu'ils vont surtout buffer les anciens. Et voilà, lui le nouveau, je pense qu'ils vont en faire. Hein.
It shakes things up. Get some options.
Yeah. It sounds enticing for like.
En plus, ils en avaient parlé dans la tweet, il me semble. Et ils parlaient de l'âme spectrale, le cryo de l'arca.
Right. Yeah, and just upping that versatility factor, honestly, of all of them, you know?
Yeah, just bringing some other stuff kind of back in the limelight.
Yeah, no, very excited. The build crafters out there in the audience, you've got your work cut out for you now. Go ahead and start adjusting those variables in your various spreadsheets and everything.
I was about to say the same thing. When you see the spreadsheets, when I eat lunch, I sometimes just put on a video and I'm like, let me see what the meta is.
Care about. Dear Mactics, tell me what my build is today. Yeah, no.
Then you have Bjorndal internally where it's like, what's my meta going to be in a month? What should I start saving now?
I will admit, I had also, when I got a sneak peek at Alethanim, I went home that day and built like a stasis loadout just in preparation for it, more or less. The stand-in was I can't remember the name of it. At any rate, but the exotic scout rifle.
Merde, je sais plus comment il s'appelle.
Wicked Implement.
Thank you, Wicked Implement. There we go. This is.
En français, j'ai pas le nom.
No.
Pas de l'éclaireur Stas là. L'outil de folie. L'outil de folie.
The dead man's tale. So
that's why we were just talking about that earlier. I went to that.
Yeah. All right, so we've obviously got a lot of great stuff arriving with the season in terms of the activity and weapons, but Dylan, I want to turn my attention solely to you. In addition to the cool content being added, you've got some notes prepared, I see. We've got some cool stuff to go ahead.
Qu'est-ce qu'il a?
There it is. All right, everyone, get your
Il a sorti ses notes. On dirait moi aussi j'ai toujours mes notes. Regardez.
Let's go ahead and start from the top. We're doing
J'ai toujours mon carnet.
Street Fighter. Coming up. Can you tell us a little bit about the cool stuff that we're going to have available?
Et il nous parle de la collab avec Street Fighter, c'est ça?
Please, may you tell us?
Fais voir, fais voir.
Absolutely.
Okay,
I mean,
there we go. All right.
So you've seen a few things through gameplay. We have a bunch of cosmetics. Like the first thing you can see here is a wonderful set of ghosts. So we got your.
C'est ça. Donc ils vont parler maintenant de la collab avec Street Fighter.
I wouldn't want my ghost to get into a fist fight with the. With any of the bosses really, but that one looks like they could.
Ils sont mignons les spectres.
Yeah.
Ils sont mignons.
I'm gonna punch every face of the witness.
There's a lot, so you better get to work.
Yeah, and then one of our players has actually been running around with a Blanca helmet, which is so it's not one class that gets this. It's going to be universal ornament. The helmet.
C'est un ornement universel.
Warlock, which is going to be great. And then with the roaming super changes, like
il parle de trucs de gauche, parce que le truc à droite c'est. Ah voilà, il l'a mis aussi, c'est bon.
Yeah.
Go and kind of roleplay with some of that electricity, right?
Yeah, honestly, just really live up that fantasy of being Blanca after all this time. Maybe not as
J'aime pas.
necessarily, but
vous aimez bien vous l'ornement du casque là, de la collab? Moi j'aime pas.
We all know, Noah, that you're just way cooler than
Mais...
all of us. Okay, stop rubbing it in.
As long as we know.
Yeah, cool.
Nul.
Yeah, great. So there are also 3 finishers. You might have seen those sprinkled in through the gameplay. Lightning kick, spinning bird, Hadouken. I can't do that.
Ils l'ont mis. Hadouken. Oh, stylé ça.
Was my attempt.
Donc 3 finishers là avec cette collab.
Significantly better. Significantly better. Yeah.
And then we got some emotes that we can show off too, which are a pretty good time.
Yeah, let's see here. We'll see what we can see here. If gameplay's on screen, anyway.
There we go.
There we go. Yes. All right. So we've got some emotes to show off as well. Let's start
on a des emotes.
The group emote here.
C'est quoi ça? Avec la barre de vie en haut. Incroyable.
And winner.
Okay.
God. And then we got a bonus round.
That's
Let's go.
Yeah. It's not exactly a Honda Civic, but it's just as much fun to go ahead and beat up.
Rip le distributeur.
In the tower, 1997 Honda Civic Adept. I see you, I love you.
Ah, les finishers, ils sont sympas.
It's an important role to play, honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Surtout le
Hadouken. My new Trials intro. I can already tell.
Right.
Honestly.
And then we actually have a segue on screen already.
Par contre, il nous montre comme ça, mais en fait, il a le skin de Noël. Eh oui, Noël. Eh oui. Regardez, c'est le skin de Noël pour l'Arca, ça. Les ailes, elles sont sympas. Ah, j'aime bien.
The wonderful theme for our armor is going to be a celestial space dragon, which is really great. And then the team did a bunch of really good
les ailes comme ça.
We've seen your feedback tons of times on, hey, I want my shaders to look pretty on all the armor that I'm getting.
Yeah.
This knocks it out of the park, especially with that celestial star map in the way.
Vous le trouvez comment l'arcaniste là?
Each class is going to get their dragon on. It's going to be a great time. These armor sets
les ailes, regardez les ailes, comment elles bougent.
So if you've been doing all your Pathfinders, shout out to the
team comme un gamin.
Pathfinder changes in the last episode launch. Yeah,
It
lots of
actually
bright
made a huge
dust, so
difference.
you can get these armors pretty quick. And then donning, we're going to have your favorite cookie baking activities coming back, going around to all of your different vendors.
On va refaire des
Giving
cookies.
them nice treats, giving some raisins to Eris, that kind of stuff.
Right.
Il y a les autres
There have been a
persos
couple
aussi,
quality
mais...
life changes that I want to call out from the team. Let's see here. Let's see. Dark frosting. So it's not just going to be stasis anymore. Both of your darkness subclasses, Strand and Stasis, are going to make that easier. And then for every Guardian out there that's been saying, hey, this specific ingredient is not dropping for me, we're upping the drop rates for all those. So if you're using Void, trying to get that null taste or whatever,
and we are,
you'll start getting that a little bit more frequently.
I never had an issue.
Stop it, okay? Don't
Well,
do
yeah,
that.
you're the lucky one.
Yeah.
Built different.
Dev loot.
Classic Taylor, geez. Yeah, the Dev loot. Yeah.
Dawning Engrams are coming back. We have Focusing. You can actually earn double perks as well. So if you're trying to get the new linear fusion rifle with some spicy rolls.
Ok, donc on a aussi la nouvelle arme pour Noël, un nouveau fusil à fusion linéaire.
Columns. But if we could get a preview.
Yeah, let's take a look.
Yeah.
Ah, ils vont nous montrer?
So Adaptive Burst, beautiful fusion rifle. There's already actually a pretty spicy roll.
Oh,
on the
le
screen
viseur.
right now. So on the left column, internally we call it Box Weaken.
Like box breathing.
What's the actual?
Withering Gaze.
Withering Gaze. So aim down sights for a bit, and then you
Left
can.
column specifically.
Oh, sorry,
is
left.
Really nice.
You can weaken your targets, and then in the right column, bait and switch. So amp up your damage, weaken your target. That's actually going to be a pretty spicy roll. Vice-Stinger 2 to get a bunch of your ammo back.
Ah, il a Dart de Waste aussi.
Envious Arsenal. It's
Ah
one of the hottest perks
ouais.
of this season, or of this episode. Sorry, this act.
Il a
Those are
Abyssal.
going to pair really well in this linear that's coming out.
Bait and switch has become the darling
swap
child of my
those.
heavy ammo slot, honestly, so I'm excited to see this. Also, I think we were talking earlier, after being such big fans of Stormcaller, seeing another Adaptive Burst linear fusion rifle on the map was pretty exciting, honestly.
Storm
Storm Chaser, thank you, Storm Chaser, my mistake.
Yeah,
That
shout
was a
out.
test, you passed.
Storm-themed content in that game, if you haven't noticed.
One of my buddies out in Midwest, he actually does some storm chasing as a hobby. So he's like, I need that gun.
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, and then outside of the new weapon, there are going to be a bunch of reprised weapons with new rolls. So your
Oui, comme
fusion
d'habitude,
rifle,
ça.
pulse rifle, glaive sword, and the
Ah, le
machine gun.
glacioclasme avec des
Big
nouvelles
shout out
perks, là,
to
ça
Wiggle
j'ai
with
pas
Flash.
atteint.
He's my go-to content creator for fusion rifle rolls, and glacioclasm. You may see it in the Crucible, may shake your fist at it a couple times. There's going to be some more rolls.
After seeing you in that Bungie
yeah,
Foundation
yeah.
stream, just mopping the floor with people with fusions, I fully expect this to be added into your
Full-on
inventory as
dad
soon as
loadout,
possible.
man. Pulse
Yeah.
rifle,
Ils le
fusion
savent
rifle,
en
you go.
plus, ils le savent
Yeah,
en
can't be
plus
friends
qu'il est
anymore.
cheaté en PvP, ils le
There's going to
savent.
be lone wolf closing
Ils
time,
le
so push out that
savent.
range, tighten up
Ils
the
le
cone, it's going to be
savent.
great.
Allez,
You're
bâtard.
giving everyone ideas, Dylan.
But-
Okay?
Sorry, what was that?
It's tough enough to get to the lighthouse these days. You're giving everyone ideas, all right?
Yeah, I hope they come in and ruin my day. It makes for great clips. Yeah, and I mean, so strange coins are actually going to be added to the Dawning gifts as well.
Yeah.
So,
nice.
like with Festival of the Lost, you
Des
can get
pièces étranges.
the exotic class items with candy and that kind of stuff. With
Ouais.
Dawning, you're going to get higher drop rate of those strange coins from giving out those gifts, and then you can go to Zur, you can get your exotic class items or the Zerfboard actually too.
Oh,
So-
nice.
so
Ok,
it's
avec
not
l'événement de
necessarily
Noël, on va
catch-up
pouvoir
mechanic,
dropper
but
des
we know,
pièces
hey, you
étranges,
might not
là.
be going into Strikes or Crucible and earning
Et du coup, les
strange coins,
claquer
so
chez
we're trying to
Xur,
spread
quoi.
the love a bit.
Nice.
Ok.
We'll get what we deserve.
I keep
Pretty
setting
good,
you up
yeah.
for these, and then
I
I
know.
just regret.
No.
Yes,
Thank
bon
you. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll do a
Phoenix.
solid set you up for one. We have one more cool little thing actually.
Ah.
There's a new fashion set that's being added to Act 2 as well. The players have been pretty excited about it. They may have caught wind of it.
Ah,
but,
le skin Dokki
tell us a little bit about what we're
Dokki.
seeing here, Dylan.
Ça arrive
So,
Acte
by
2.
Power of the Moon, the team has done absolute beautiful work on some Dokki Dokki Destiny sets.
Ah oui, oui,
We
oui.
got
Moi,
your
je veux ça,
Warlock and
moi.
your Titan
Moi, je veux le
there,
truc Dokki
showing off
Dokki.
their fashion, pondering an orb, if you will.
Bon, sur
But,
l'Arca, je vais...
yeah, I mean, this has been a set long time coming. We hope players enjoy throwing on some bows, some ribbons, and
Yeah.
just
peut-être,
having a
sûrement
fun time in
semaine
fashion.
pro,
If you want to go super black and be a
Naliette.
gothic cutesy set, that's going to be,
It's a great time for that, honestly.
yeah, right.
This is available through Silver.
This is going to be silver and bright dust.
And
so
bright dust,
again,
okay.
yeah,
Ok,
if you're going in
on
doing
pourra
your
les acheter avec de la
Pathfinders, all
poussière
that kind of
brillante, les
stuff,
trucs Dokki Dokki.
Yeah, it'll be available in the Eververse for bright dust or silver.
Gonna be a good
Live
time.
your best fashion life.
Right.
Can't-
Fashion is the true end game.
Destiny is going to be really dialing
Let's
it up.
see. Any other notes? Oh, I do want to give a shout out.
Oh, please.
Yeah, I mean, like at the top of the show, I was saying I'm an emissary of the team, but ultimately there are a ton of people that make cool content. Like we have Noah Taylor here right now, but big thank you to Mike Profeta, Joshua B, CJ Payne, Brad Fisher, Mercules, and Michelle on test as well for working on a bunch of these sandbox changes, a bunch of these Dawning goodies.
Yeah.
a ton of unsung heroes at Bungie, from IT to like the folks behind the stream and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's a group effort, and I'm really excited for what's to come.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's nice. Let's make those thankless jobs.
En réalité, en termes de contenu, les gars, semaine prochaine, c'est la prison des vétérans V2. Et c'est tout. Ah non, il y a l'histoire des saisons. Il y a l'histoire des saisons qu'on va faire en 1h30.
Never hurts. Yeah. Taylor, anyone you got for you?
Yeah, Vivian on the scorn weapons and that origin perk.
Yeah.
Matt Dowling for all his work on the release.
Yeah.
And then Danny.
T'aimes pas toi le truc de Dokki Bridget?
Interesting.
We'll get to that.
Moi j'aime bien.
What an interesting little tease that is.
Mais les trucs de Noël aussi, banger.
This is one of the Bungie pillars. Yeah. It's like in the game, this is where you see it in full force because everything is made by so many hands.
Yeah, honestly, that's something I always say is nothing ever happens here in a vacuum, right? Like it takes a lot of people to come together, this coalescence of technical and artistic skills.
Après, c'était sûr, les gars,
c'était
sûr.
You know, we'll obviously make sure and give additional thanks at the end, but to our compatriots at Bungie that are here even now, working hard, continuing to build all the next chapters of Destiny, thank you all so much. We appreciate it.
Do I have any other notes?
Do you have any other notes?
I think, oh yeah, last thing.
Ah, mais lui, il a 50 notes, les gars, dans son truc. Il est pire que moi.
Yeah, November 26th, so the week after the ACT launches, we'll have Iron Banner coming back with a new
le 26 novembre, oui.
Somebody might have
couple
details
new
on.
weapons. Can you give us a tease? There was a sidearm.
26 novembre, bannière de fer, avec un nouveau set d'armure et d'autres armes.
I think some people have already found that, but yeah, that'll be available soon.
I just like all those words, honestly.
Donc le nouveau pistolet missile.
Archon Thunder, baby. Get your machine gun on.
Oh, that's
La
right.
batteuse aussi, mais c'est l'ancienne. Ils remettent juste d'autres perks dessus.
Yeah, that nice classic solar machine gun is a lot of fun.
Yeah, but we'll have a ton of twids between now and end of December when we go dark. But we'll have a bunch of stuff on Iron Banner. Dawning, all the goodies in there. We have a bake-off event that's going to be going on in the game where you can earn some cosmetics and emblems.
Yeah.
And, we have a lot of good content in this act going through the end of the year.
Very nice. Excellent. Well, we also, as is the case with these streams, we're getting near the end of our agenda here for today. But as is the case typically, we're going to leave you with just one more thing as well. Now, as a quick heads up, the launch of Act 3, pardon me, is going to be on January 7th. So
l'Acte 3 le 7 janvier.
2025 rolls around. Many of us will be at home spending time with our families and loved ones, or if you're like me, sitting around just playing more Destiny. So as a result, we won't be actually having an Act 3 stream. So unmark those calendars for the stream, but make sure you log in that day, because with the arrival of Act 3, shortly after the arrival or right when it launches, we'll defer that to a twid to make sure we get that date spot on. There's going to be a new exotic weapon quest arriving as well, and with it, a new exotic shotgun as well that we're going to actually take a look at here today. Now, the name of the quest we're not going to spoil for you because it has some story implications.
Vu qu'il n'y aura pas de live pour l'acte 3, ils nous montrent direct un peu... Ok, donc ça c'est le Pompe Exo, les gars, que je vous ai montré dans une de mes vidéos YouTube là.
Slug shotgun.
C'est un slug du coup.
It fires a single slug round that once it impacts a target or a surface like environment, the slug shatters in a bunch of
avec des sous-munitions.
Secondary projectiles. And then once you get a kill, you get true sight for a short period of time, and then the shattered projectiles will weaken targets that they hit, and they get a bit smarter with their tracking.
Very nice.
A pretty unique reload.
Yeah.
For a shotgun.
Crystal in that?
Yeah, it's like a
l'animation elle est
small
sympa.
crystal. Like I think the theme is like the projectiles are like hitting surface and they shatter into bits.
Yeah.
We went down as a squad of 9. We're turned into void crystals and are now in an exotic weapon.
Hey, I mean, we turn
everything and everyone into weapons around here.
Là t'as la vision pure, tu vois.
A worm.
But,
a very sassy worm.
Yeah, also fully reloads the gun with the reload.
I was going to ask.
It's not shell by shell.
Yeah, was it the whole? So it's the whole magazine.
Ah oui, ça recharge directement, ouais.
Okay. I'm already mentally trying to build this into as many loadouts as I possibly can.
Yeah.
Being
Your Falcon? Yeah.
Very curious if no backup plans Titans might.
La nouvelle coupe en secondaire.
Well, they will now.
Yeah, also benefits from the.
Il faudra tester ça en PvP. Là, pour le coup, je saurais pas dire si ça va être banger ou pas. Hein.
Yeah.
Craftable?
Yes, yeah. So like
Bien sûr.
kind of past couple quests and
Il y aura
benefits,
plusieurs
like
catalyseurs.
One, etc. Be a bunch of things to do in the activity, intrinsic levels to unlock, and a handful of catalysts that have some interesting interactions with how the gun works itself.
Very nice. All right, so the theory crafters in the audience are going to have plenty to sink their teeth into.
Yes,
Yeah.
and a few other maybe secret things to do.
Maybe secret things. All right, that's
Ah,
cool.
comme d'habitude.
Maybe secrets.
Maybe secrets are maybe cool.
I like
Things for you to find out.
Yeah, we'll wait for the YouTubers to make their Pepe Silvia wall of all the different secrets that exist in there at some point. But for now, that actually leads us to the end of our series of events. My page of notes has gone ahead and concluded. So
Y a plus rien dans les notes
today
là?
we actually had a quick chance to go ahead and dive in and take a look, pardon me, at a little bit of what's to arrive with Act 2 of episode Revenant. Huge thanks to Noah for walking us through the contest of elders and the new team of elders. Much appreciated. Taylor, thank you a ton for walking us through some of the weapons that are going to be arriving, along with some other sandbox changes that are going to be going along.
Absolutely. I love talking about this stuff.
Yeah, honestly, it's been a great time. It's been, even just before the stream, sitting in here, just going through it all has been so much fun. So thank you all for joining us. And of course, to Dylan for kind of walking us through a little bit of what's to come, including the stuff with the Dawn, the Street Fighter 6 partnership, the Dokki set that is no joke.
Ah, moi c'est le Dokki set, ouais. Ouais, moi c'est le... Moi c'est les armures que je suis hype et la collab avec Street Fighter.
Go home and get some hot dogs from Garden of Salvation that this man worked on. So I mean, sorry, deep sights. So.
Tomato to hot dog. It's all right. It works out well.
What is going on?
It's we're all going mad in here. No. So thank you again to all you fine folks in the audience for joining us. To our fire team behind the scenes, obviously, Ashley, Justin, and Peyton, as always, for doing the heavy lifting. Thank you all so much for taking the time to join us. To the incredible crew here in-house that has the distinct challenge of trying to make me look good, thank you all so much. It's a joy to be a part of something like this. And then, of course, ultimately, from all of us in here to all of you out there, thank you for taking the time to join us today. We appreciate getting a chance to hang out with you and show off a little bit of what we've been working on. But in the meantime, make sure to go ahead and follow us at Destiny the Game on Twitter, Facebook, really your platform of choice. And otherwise, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll see you all Starside.
Thanks for watching. C'est finito. Je l'avais dit qu'on n'allait pas avoir grand chose. Hein. C'est la moitié du truc. Ils nous ont parlé de la prison des vétérans V2 là. Qu'ils ont transformé un peu comme la Spire là qu'on avait eu là pour la saison avec Raven là. Donc ce sera exactement le même système. Et après les skins quoi en fait. Ils nous ont montré beaucoup de skins. Hein. Skins, la collab.